They ordered the black woman to clean toilets while co-workers laughed and supervisors smirked. She stayed silent, steady, watching cruelty perform itself. Every command tightened the noose they didn't see. The room smelled of power misused and confidence unearned. What none of them realized was that the woman absorbing their insults controlled promotions, paychecks, and futures. When the truth detonated, laughter would freeze, authority would implode, and careers would end publicly. This was not a misunderstanding. It was a test, one they were failing in real time before consequences arrived swiftly. The warehouse facility came alive before sunrise. Machines humming, footsteps echoing, voices careless with comfort. Employees drifted into the break room, carrying fatigue and routine. Laughter bounced off stained tables. Authority felt casual here, unchecked. That was exactly why Nia Caldwell had chosen this morning. She entered quietly, unannounced, unrecognized, her presence deliberate and restrained. She did not introduce herself. She observed. For months, anonymous complaints had stacked on her desk. Reports of humiliation, verbal abuse, threats disguised as management. Nia did not believe in second-hand truth. She believed in witnessing it. So she stood near the coffee station, listening, watching how power behaved when it thought no one important was watching. The break room doors slammed open. Brenda Knox, the floor supervisor, strode in with a voice that demanded attention. Orders followed her like debris. She barked instructions, mocked delays, and laughed when workers flinched. Her confidence came from years of being unchallenged. She scanned the room and locked onto Nia. "You," Brenda snapped, pointing. "Why are you standing there? Bathrooms are filthy. Grab supplies and get moving." The room went quiet, then rippled with snickers. Nia met her gaze calmly. "I'm not assigned to that." Brenda scoffed. "Everyone's assigned when I say so. Don't get bold." "I'm not refusing work," Nia replied evenly. "I'm asking why you're speaking to me this way." That question irritated Brenda more than defiance. "Because I can," she said. "Because this place runs on discipline, and you look like someone who needs reminding." A few employees shifted uncomfortably. One older man muttered, "That's enough." Brenda silenced him with a glare. "Stay in your lane." Nia felt the room tighten. This was the moment complaints described. The casual cruelty, the public degradation. Brenda stepped closer. "If you don't follow instructions, I'll call security." "You want that?" "For what?" Nia asked. "For refusing your supervisor." Nia nodded slowly. "You're my supervisor." Brenda smiled proud. "Damn right. And who supervises you?" Brenda waved the question away. "Upper management. They don't bother showing up. I keep this place running." The words hung heavy. They were more than arrogance. They were confession. The door swung open again. Martin Hale, the regional operations manager, rushed in mid-sentence, his face pale as soon as he saw Nia. He stopped cold. "Miss Caldwell," he stammered. The room froze. Brenda frowned. "Miss who?" Nia stepped forward. "Nia Caldwell, founder and CEO." Sound vanished. A cup slipped from trembling fingers. Someone inhaled sharply. Brenda's posture collapsed as if gravity had doubled. "That's not funny," she whispered. "It's not a joke," Martin said quietly. Brenda's face drained. You own this facility, Nia finished. Yes. Silence turned suffocating. Nia did not raise her voice. You ordered me to clean bathrooms. You mocked me. You threatened me with security. Explain why. Brenda stumbled over words that wouldn't form. Martin tried to intervene. She didn't know who you were. Nia turned slowly. So, respect depends on status. Martin said nothing. Nia continued. Brenda Knox, do you speak to all employees this way? I was just enforcing standards, Brenda pleaded. This is a misunderstanding. I recorded everything, Nia said calmly. Brenda swayed. Nia faced the room. Anyone else want to speak? Hands rose immediately. Voices broke free. Stories spilled out. Daily insults. Paperwork thrown in faces. Threats for questioning orders. Mockery of accents. Pregnant workers called burdens. Complaints ignored. Fear normalized. Brenda collapsed into tears. Please, she begged. I need this job. Nia inhaled slowly. 4 years, you used authority to degrade people. Power abused becomes power forfeited. She looked directly at Brenda. You're terminated. Effective immediately. Gasps followed. Security appeared. Brenda was escorted out, her cries fading down the hall. Relief spread briefly. Nia turned to Martin. You knew. I didn't witness it personally. He said desperately. That, Nia replied, is the problem. She paused. You're terminated as well. Martin's protest died unheard as security returned. Nia addressed the remaining staff. Every employee here will keep their position. You will attend a meeting at noon. We will rebuild this place properly. Tears filled eyes. Someone whispered, thank you. Nia nodded once. You deserve leadership that sees you before it commands you. As she walked out, the room felt different. Straighter backs, steadier breathing, dignity reclaimed, and behind her, the echo of unchecked arrogance finally fell silent. If watching quiet strength dismantle abuse gave you chills, don't scroll away. Like this video to support stories that speak truth. Share it with someone who believes respect should never depend on status. And comment the line or moment that hit you hardest. Subscribe and turn on notifications for more stories where hidden power rises, cruelty collapses, and dignity is reclaimed without apology. The G.